Neverwinter Online, ever the adventure. But one question that has never once been answered throughout the many years of Neverwinter's existence. A question that has plagued my mind every single time I have returned and played this MMORPG. That question is none other than, does Neverwinter Online experience winter? Did the pioneers who created and colonized Neverwinter stay long enough to make the bold statement that this here land has never and will never experience winter, and therefore in its name declare that this region from that day on will be forever named Neverwinter? If that is not the case and they thought it was just a cool name and stuck with it, imagine someone moving to the city of Neverwinter and one day leaving their newly bought house only to find that it's snowing. They'll feel cheated and lied to, thinking that they could have finally escaped the chilling elements of the cold and the caroling singers repeatedly singing that ever so catchy yet irritating song,
let it go, Neverwinter can't hold it back anymore.
All jokes aside, I was sponsored to check out and see what Neverwinter has to offer, and that is exactly what Eve and I decided to do on our merry adventure around Neverwinter, exploring the vast and dangerous lands it has to offer, meeting new and, interesting NPCs, conquering dungeons and skirmishes alike, dodging traps like pros, obviously, escaping near-death experiences, most of the time, and just generally having a blast playing this MMORPG. Now, for those of you wondering, we have played this game before, around about last year, and we checked out whether or not it was worth playing back then. However, there is no harm in taking a second look at a game to see how it is faring right now. I mean, an MMORPG in this day and age surviving another year seems to be like trying to outrun an airborne contagion. It's almost impossible. Either way, Neverwinter, for those of you who do not know, is a rather fast-paced semi-action MMORPG with a rather interesting story to follow along. The world itself is also quite large, and the regions themselves fun to explore, full of hidden little goodies that you can get. But you'll be spending a lot of time fighting off the mass amounts of monsters that want to murder your ass like you're some kind of deliciously deep-fried chicken, spawning whenever you're trying to loot something important, or just generally trying to attack you when you're exploring around. Like seriously guys, these orcs need to take a chill pill and lay off of the roids. It's not doing them any favors. Nevertheless, we ended their tyranny without too much effort and continued helping the citizens of this area, one captured guard at a time. So guys, by now I'm sure the majority of the people are aware of some of the features found within Neverwinter, but for me to elaborate, Neverwinter has an intricate class and skill system. The skill system used in Neverwinter Online is actually something similar to Guild Wars 2, and this system is debated quite a lot on whether or not it is a good system or a bad system. See, in Neverwinter Online you do have a limited amount of skills you can put on your bar, unlike in other games when you can equip all the skills that you have learned and just extend how many skill bars you have. So to explain a little bit, there are your main skills that are set to both of your mouse clicks, followed by 3 combat abilities, 1 mastery skill that's significantly different for each class. For an example, my archer's mastery skill will swap all of my skills entirely to melee variations of the skills that I already have that are ranged and use a bow, which I will just take a moment and point out that that is absolutely awesome. I loved swapping between them. And the last of the skills that you can get are 2 daily powers and 1 artifact ability, for a total of 9 skills, which isn't a whole lot in comparison to some other games, but it does add a lot of strategic elements to the game, allowing you to adjust your skills based on what kind of situation you are in. One set of skills may benefit you more in a PvE situation, and others may be more fitted for a PvP situation. So whilst it won't let you have 20 skills per class, it still has a decent amount of skill variety to take into consideration, as you will, be swapping it around. Now, something that I personally did enjoy whilst playing Neverwinter Online, besides just generally derping around, is that the queues seem to pop almost instantly, even for the early levels in the game. And that's actually quite shocking to me, because typically when I play an MMORPG, queuing into dungeons, skirmishes, or whatever queued content there is, it typically takes a while to get party members, whereas with Neverwinter's case, the queues didn't seem to be an issue at all. And that was a lot of fun to be able to participate in, especially the dungeon. It was difficult, but it was a blast to play through. Something else to point out with Neverwinter Online is the fact that there's just so much content to tackle within the game. Even at an early level, you've got so many different things you can do, you're not entirely sure which one you should pursue. which is never a bad thing. Also, guys, I'm just gonna take a quick moment and point out, my god, there are so many mounts in this game, it is insane. So much so that you wonder if they just decided to add whatever came into their minds without any forethought of how you would actually be able to ride it. Like this tornado, or this gaping abyss, or maybe this water square. I mean, seriously, how in the Seven Hills can you ride a square of water? Oh, so that's how you do it. I mean, I guess that makes more sense than just sitting on the top of it, but I mean, personally, I wouldn't want to drown every time I wanted to travel to the next quest target. But that's just me. I hear some people are into that. Now moving on to a more serious topic. Player population is always something that's discussed in really any MMORPG. And whilst there's no accurate way of telling the population for Neverwinter Online, especially since it's split between its own launcher and Steam, using Steam statistics only, it seems to have a fair number of people for a niche MMORPG title. Again, keep in mind this isn't taking into consideration the users who are playing through the ARC launcher. Going from my own personal experience, whilst traveling around these zones, there was quite a number of people. Not mass hordes of players in one given spot, obviously, but seeing players running around the combat zones is always a good sign. If you only see players in a town, then it's probably dying out. So I would have to say that Neverwinter Online's population is doing okay. So generally, guys, Neverwinter may have some flaws later on, but it seems to me like a quality title that's fun to play alone or with others. Heck, it even seems to have a rather friendly community. I mean, I was actually revived by some random player. Do you guys understand how much of a miracle that is for another player to help you out? Just on a whim? That's crazy. So if you were ever on the fence about trying out Neverwinter, I would have to say just try it out and make your own judgment about it. So if you'd like to try it out for yourself, there's a link in the description and or pinned comment. Lastly, since there's just so many mixed opinions on this MMORPG, what do you guys personally think about Neverwinter Online? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. That being said, guys, good day, night, or afternoon, whatever it is where you are, and I'll be seeing you guys next time.
染められて望みのままに口づけくらいじゃ